episode. Episode freaking 100. Let's go, baby. Okay, this is wild. This is crazy. But I have literally recorded 100 episodes now on the Wanderlust Wealth Show. And the crazy part about it is most people don't even make it past episode 10. I believe the stat is something like 90% of people don't make it past episode 3, like actually publishing 3 episodes. And only 20% of podcasters even make it past 10, which is crazy. Crazy. And that just shows you like the barrier to entry and how many people start something and they're like, just kidding, I don't actually really want this and I'm not committed to it. But honestly, I'm just so pumped about this because I launched this podcast not even a year ago now, and we're already at 100 episodes. And I remember because I wanted to do a podcast for so long, but I didn't really know the direction that I wanted to take it in. And I wasn't 100% committed to the goal, which is why I never actually started one until one day I just had this innate desire in me that was like, no, I'm starting a podcast. And within 3 weeks, I was up and running. And that was even delayed because I got sick the week before and completely lost my voice. So I couldn't start podcasting before that. But I was so freaking ready to go. I had cover photo done. I had my intro scripted and recorded and everything all done in such a short period of time because I knew that it was in full alignment with where I was at, where I was on my journey, and where I wanted to go. Now, honestly, this episode is so timely because we are at the end of January right now. And the crazy thing is that because we're in January, at the beginning of the year, so many people set their 2025 intentions and their goals. However, by the end of January, 80% of people have given up on their New Year's resolutions. Isn't that freaking insane? And today I'm going to show you how you will not be one of them and the very obvious and clear mistakes that people make whenever they are setting their New Year's goals and resolutions so that you are not going to be one of them. Now, I'm going to be going over 4 reasons as to why people give up on their New Year's resolutions, why they don't end up accomplishing their goals, why they don't end up reaching the 100th podcast episode or buying the property or starting the business or finishing schooling or whatever that looks like. Because if you know me, you know that I am a stickler for actually following through on goals and doing the damn thing. Okay, first thing, number 1, committed versus interested. Are you committed to your goal or are you just interested in your goal? Now, there is no right or wrong answer. You can be committed or you can be interested. However, if you actually want something to happen, you have to be committed to it, not just interested. So I think about, for example, over the last couple of years, when I quit my corporate job, I was in like a really bad health state. I don't weigh myself, but I gained a lot of pounds when I was working my corporate job, both from depression, taking anti-anxiety medication, and I just wasn't like working out and as active since I was living in New Orleans versus before when I was living in Colorado and hiking all the time. I'd gained a lot of weight during that season when I was working my corporate job. And even over the next 2 years while I was nomading, I did actually lose quite a bit of weight initially because now I wasn't taking antidepressants anymore. I was working out a lot more, just was more active. However, I was living the nomadic lifestyle. And for anyone who has lived the nomadic lifestyle, you know how difficult it is to be healthy all the time, eat the right things, exercise all the time, have that routine. So while I was in better shape than I was while working my corporate job, I was still just kind of interested in my health. I wasn't totally committed to like being super healthy and getting ripped again like I used to be when I lived in Colorado. I was interested in maintaining what I had going, but not really pushing it and going for it, right? And my body showed. It's not like I love my body, I really do, but I also know that there's always room for improvement. And as a person who is a high achiever in general, I'm always looking for ways to keep being better and doing better. And part of that right now is with my health. And so at first, honestly, I didn't even put any goals around health and fitness and wellness at the beginning of the year because I was still kind of in that phase where it's like, is this really my commitment for this next year? However, now that I'm back in Colorado and I'm in my house and I have more of a routine and I'm like not traveling for at least a month and a half, I'm so much more committed to my goals. So I actually started meal prepping again and I bought a weight vest and I do a weighted walk every day and I've increased my step count from 6,000 to 7,000 to 10,000, 11,000 every day. But that is because I was actually committed to my goal. of being healthier, of getting fitter, of getting more ripped. Like I'm actually committed to that. I'm not just interested in it like I have been over the last 2 years. So you have to get really clear and really honest with yourself and ask yourself, are you committed to this goal or are you just interested in this goal? There is no right or wrong answer. Sometimes there are seasons where you're just interested in the goal. For example, when I knew I wanted to start a podcast, but didn't really know what I wanted to do, part of the reason why I didn't start a podcast before I did was I wasn't really committed to the goal of having a podcast and growing a podcast. I was interested in it, but I didn't really know what I wanted to do. And so I wasn't really like going for it. However, finally, I got to a point where I actually was committed and I decided, right? So you have to decide, you have to commit. That is step number 1. Okay. And that is a thing that most people get wrong is they put stuff on their goals list that they're maybe kind of interested in, but not really, right? Versus what they're actually committed to achieving. Okay, fam, if you have been feeling stuck in your corporate job or in your career and you've been looking to level up, this is going to be for you. Now, this has been a long time coming, but I am finally hosting the inaugural Wanderlust Wealth Retreat here in Denver, Colorado, March 6th through March 9th. Now, this is for the person who either hasn't gotten started investing in real estate or maybe they've bought 1, maybe 2 properties and are starting to doubt themselves. Maybe they're thinking, can I actually live life on my own terms? Can I really stick it to the man and go travel and spend more time with the people that I love instead of going into a gray office every day? If any of those sound like you have to be at this retreat. Now, it's actually going to be at my Airbnb here in Denver Art House. And we have both an all-inclusive ticket as well as a local Denver ticket. So the all-inclusive ticket is going to be food, accommodation, all of that included. Whereas the local Denver one, the food and accommodation won't be included, but you'll be able to come and attend all of the core events. So if you're ready to level up your life and really make 2025 your year, make 2026 the year that everything freaking changes for you, you must come. Because here's the thing, you don't have to go at this real estate investing entrepreneurship thing all alone. The relationships that you make in in-person events are literally unparalleled. They've changed my life and so many other folks around me, and I know it's going to change yours too. Now, tickets are going fast, so make sure you get signed up ASAP. Check the link in the show notes for more details and to go get signed up, or DM me the word retreat on Instagram. That way we can get you signed up and ready to freaking go. Now, it is going to be a really small, intimate group. So like I said, tickets are actually going to go really fast, and they've already started going really fast. So get signed up as soon as you possibly can, and I will see you there. Okay, the second thing that a lot of people mess up whenever they're doing their New Year's resolutions or their 2025 goals and why they don't actually follow through is that they have this all or nothing mindset. So maybe they're doing really well for a week. They're crushing it. They're like, okay, I got this. Like, let's say it's meal prepping, right? And you're like, okay, this week I did a great job. I meal prep, but then everything kind of fell off the wayside the next week and you weren't able to get to the grocery store and maybe you stopped at McDonald's and you got a double cheeseburger and you're like, oh my gosh, now I've completely ruined it. And most people give up. They're like, well, see, I told you I couldn't do it, right? Like I couldn't make it. No, we're not doing that. That is literally self-sabotage. With your goals, you cannot have an all or nothing mindset. Life happens. Life continues to happen. Life is going to keep happening, right? And it is never too late to start back over because consistency over time, right, is so much more important than making sure that you do it perfect from the get-go. So if you fall off of the bandwagon, babe, get back up. It is time to freaking go. And it is okay. That is normal. No one does everything perfectly. When you're losing weight or trying to eat healthily, right? What matters is how you eat consistently over a long period of time. 1 week ain't gonna kill you. Or like I think about whenever I was trying to buy my very first investment property, right? I got beat out so many times. Like over 10 times, I would put an offer in and they would go and choose a different offer because I just wasn't very competitive. And so many other people who were looking at properties at that exact same time, right? They quit. After the second property or third property, they're like, okay, I guess I'm not meant to buy a property, right? They weren't committed to their goals, right? That goes back to the number 1. And they had that all or nothing mindset. It's like, if I don't get this property, then I guess I'm not meant to be a real estate investor. No, You have to decide, number one, that you are a real estate investor and you are going to do the damn thing. So don't have that all or nothing mindset. Get the frick back up and do the damn thing. Keep going. Be consistent. Now, the third reason why people give up on their New Year's resolutions, even by the end of January, is that they don't have any systems in place to keep them on track. They're not using apps like Habit Tracker, or maybe for the gym, right? If you guys go back and listen to my episode from summer of 2024, I recorded a whole podcast episode about how for some reason, like I just had gotten to a phase in my life where I could not go to the gym by myself. I would literally drive myself there, sit in the car, procrastinate on my phone, have like 15 to 20 minutes left, go and get a crappy workout in, and just not actually be fulfilling on my goals of being fit and healthy. I didn't have a system in place. I was resting on my motivation to get me there, right? And that is a sure sign to fail, by resting on your motivation, because like we were saying before, life happens. And me trying to motivate myself to go to the gym by myself was not happening. And so I signed up for a workout studio where there are classes every morning at 7 a.m. There's a routine, there's a system, there's a process. And if I miss it, I have to pay like $15, right? And while like $15 isn't a huge amount, but if you miss enough of them, it becomes a huge amount, right? And it forces me to go. It forces me, even on the days that I don't want to go, that I'm feeling tired, that I'm over it, it forces me to go. Now, it's the same thing with like when I think about my students who joined the Wanderlust Wealth Academy coaching program. I actually had a call with this kind of makes me tear up a little. But I actually had a call with them last night, and I was talking to them about how 80% of people by the end of January give up on their goals, right? And so I was asking them, how are you guys feeling about your goals? How are you doing? And they literally, a resounding was just like, no, I'm actually feeling pretty good. Yes, things aren't going as fast, or maybe things are going super fast, and things are happening the way that, like, it's so fun. We had like both spectrums of things going way faster than expected and other things that were just taking a little bit longer than expected. But everyone still felt committed to their goals because they had this container, right? They had the weekly calls from the coaching program. They had a system in place to make sure they stayed on track, because they bought into this coaching program and they were like, well, if I'm going to invest in this, I'm going to do the damn thing, right? So put systems in place for yourself so that you do not fail. If it's going to the gym in the morning and you get really overwhelmed picking out workout clothes, right? Set your clothes aside the night before. Or maybe you're really bad at like disabling your alarm and then you go back to bed. Put your phone in another room, or put another alarm clock in another room, so you have to actually get up physically out of bed, and that forces you not to go back to bed. What systems and what processes are you going to put in place so that you can actually accomplish your goals? Is it buying real estate? Is it buying that first house hack? Maybe you have to go and buy a course or join a coaching program, right? Make that investment so that you're like, okay, well, I made the investment. Now I have to go do this. And the fourth and the final reason why people give up on their New Year's resolutions is straight up just lack of accountability. Now, one of my coaching students, Bailey, she is wonderful. She doesn't actually come to any of the coaching calls, which I think was part of the issue here. I'm like, girl, start attending the calls. But I'll just tell you a little bit about one of my students, Bailey. Now, Bailey, she is phenomenal. Literally, she's such a go-getter, went for it, purchased a property she was under contract within 2 weeks of joining Wanderlust Wealth Academy. Amazing. However, when she closed, she got really overwhelmed. There were so many things that needed to be done. She was moving into the house. She has a garage apartment that she was actually renting out. And this garage apartment, she's renting out on Airbnb. And then she's already gotten her 2 roommates. And those were roommates that she had before, who are now going to be living in her house with her, helping paying her mortgage, essentially. But she also now has this garage apartment that she needs to go and list on Airbnb. And I'm like, Bailey, you need to go furnish it and list it on Airbnb. However, she'd just gotten so overwhelmed, which is so understandable because there are so many things that happen. And so for every person in my coaching program, once you close on your property, you get a one-on-one call with me. And so I said to her, hey, Bailey, and she lives close to me, you've got an option. We can either do our regular Zoom call, or I can just come over and we can knock everything out so you're ready to go with the property. So I went over there. And we like walked through the property, what she had left, and I sat with her and she ordered everything, literally everything she had left to order. She went ahead and ordered it. She did her short-term rental application. She got the damn thing done so that she literally was able to list the property a few days later. Just because she needed that extra accountability. Sometimes you just need someone to, especially if you're kind of a little bit ADHD, like a lot of us, right? Sometimes you just need someone to sit with you and be that accountability buddy that is going to get you over the hump, is going to sit with you and keep you accountable so that you do the damn thing. And a lot of us, we try to, especially, feel like in the US, we're all so independent, right? We try to do everything ourselves. But that is not the way that life works. Honestly, that's just like a new thing that was created. In all of history, it's all been about community and doing things together. Keeping yourself accountable is really hard. Having someone else help to keep you accountable, that is so much easier. And we as humans, we love helping others accomplish their goals too. So you need to find yourself an accountability buddy or an accountability partner that's going to keep you on track. And you also need to surround yourself with people who are going to lift you up. Because if everyone around you is also not trying to accomplish the same goals as you, it's going to be really hard to keep yourself motivated to go and do the thing. That's literally why I created the Wanderlust Wealth Retreats. It's for people who don't have that community around them of other people who want to do big things in their lives, who want to go travel the world, who want to go explore and invest in real estate and build wealth, right? That's why I created the retreat. It's this like container of people doing the same thing that you want to do, and you can't help but want to do the same and try to accomplish the same that they do. And also, if you do want to come to the retreat, just an FYI, it's March 6th through March 9th in Denver, Colorado. We are like almost fully booked. So if you are interested, make sure to click the link in the show notes or DM me the word retreat on Instagram so that we can get you signed up. We've literally finalized all the speakers, all the workshops, all the panels. It's going to be absolutely incredible. Okay, fam. Well, I hope that this was helpful. Thank you so much for being on the journey to 100 podcast episodes, and I'm sure hundreds and maybe even thousands more. Stay committed to your goals. 2025 really is your year. You got this. Thank you so much for listening to Wanderlust Wealth Show. Now, don't forget to follow the podcast, or if you're watching on YouTube, make sure to hit that subscribe button. If you love this episode, it would literally mean the world to me if you shared this with a friend or a family member, or literally like anyone off of the street. Like right now, go ahead, share it so you don't forget, or post it on social media and make sure to tag me. I love seeing what you're listening in on and what you resonated with, and I'm just so freaking thankful for you. I'm so freaking excited for you. I love you, and don't forget, life really doesn't have to be hard.